I'm Alexander Forsyth. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to solder. Here I have an example of what you can use with the soldering skills I'm going to teach you. For my R2-D2, I soldered together 5 circuit boards that I also designed on EagleCAD, which is a circuit design system, and I soldered them all together, even surface mount. So soon you're going to know how to do that as well. So the first thing you want to do when you're soldering is try to determine what kind of solder you're going to need, and that really depends on what components you're soldering. If you're soldering something like this is a 1 kilovolt capacitor, slightly ridiculous, but huge as you can see, so it can handle a bit more heat and it needs a lot more solder. You'd use bigger solder like this, which can output a lot more solder a lot more quickly. Or, if you have a normal application, you can use solder of about this size, and then of course there's the smaller size as well. Solder comes in all different sizes. Now, as you can see, there's different kinds of solder here. This one says lead-free. That means this is RoHS compliant, which means basically this does not have lead or anything else that can poison and kill you. These 3 do, because I much prefer using lead. It's much easier to work with, and it doesn't have as much of a tendency to have cold solder joints after you've finished soldering. That means basically that the solder joint isn't very good. Alright, so you didn't get to see it, but what I just did is I tack soldered this part on. And I'm going to turn this a little bit so you can see these pins that are coming up. And those are what I just soldered on. Tack soldering means you just try to keep it in place so the part won't move around while you're trying to solder the rest of it. It's never meant to be a pretty job, but it usually works pretty well to keep everything in place. So, I am going to begin actually soldering on some of the rest of this. I probably won't get the entire part done. Maybe I will, but we'll just see how far I can go with this. Also note, generally while you're soldering, if you're using lead solder, you should actually have a fan or something blowing on you, because you can kind of see the smoke rising up, and that's lead. So you probably don't want to be breathing it in. Now you can see what I'm doing while I'm soldering, kind of. I'm heating up the spot where each pin is, the connection between the pin and the pad it's going into. So I'm just heating that up, and I'm applying the solder to it. And just keep doing that for each one. Heat the pad up, then apply the solder to it. And of course, once you've finished all the other pins, you can go back and get your solder tacks so that those will look a bit prettier and will actually hold for any length of time.